This is a bit refreshing in a world that's increasingly electrified or is seeing its induction forced. This is the 2022 Lexus IS500 F Sport Performance, and its main party trick is the 5-liter V8 engine sitting between the front fenders. That's a big engine for a compact sedan, but is it enough engine to create an engaging and compelling package? Cue the B-roll and then the intro screen. Style-wise, it's a sharp machine. The taut lines all work really well, and the stance afforded by the Anki wheels and low-profile tires set off an eager and willing shape.
This shade of blue, it's called Grecian Water, and it looks excellent, as does the slightly bulged hood, letting you know there's more going on here. Out back, you have stacked exhaust outlets, a more aggressive rear diffuser, and that's really it. Lexus has kept this one fairly subtle otherwise.
Inside, the seats are excellent. They manage that balance between comfort and support perfectly well.
Everything is nicely laid out. The 17-speaker Mark Levinson sound system is great, and it all works, minus the quite aged Lexus mousepad deal, though I will say this one seems to respond nice and sharply to the various positions it needs to go. It snaps to the next actionable item better than I remember past versions doing so.
The real reason we're here, though, is this. That's the 5-liter V8 engine making 472 horsepower and 395 pound-feet of torque. Now, that's the same amount you'll find in the RCF, and it's 56 more than the old, yet beloved, ISF.
It's lofty power, though, which means you need to press your foot deep and hold gears to maximize it all. And you're doing so through an 8-speed auto eager to send power to those meaty rear tires.
So here's the thing about the IS500 that I think people are going to miss. This isn't an evolution of the old ISF. It's more of a throwback to that car with a few upgrades and the current styling, and it's also a nod to the past that is completely going away. So it is not as fast as the competition. It is very much suited to the task of driving comfortably and quickly without punishing you day in and day out. The suspension is nice and soft, yet still capable of what you want out of a performance car. Now, fun things do happen to the engine, though, when you step on the gas a bit. Because inside the car, the engine is relatively quiet at a certain point, but then when you get it above 2,800 RPM, it sounds amazing, and that's because there's an intake bypass tube that opens up, lets some sound into the cabin, and good things happen. You've got the quad stacked exhaust out back. There's good noise to be found. You just got to step on it a little bit. This is an engine that wants to rev. It is not an engine that loves off-the-line torque. Red line is 7,300 RPM, and if you put it in neutral, you can run the engine all the way there, which most modern cars don't let you do. It wants to live up in the rev range for the sporty, engaging driving experience. Just around town, it's calm, it's quiet, it has a Lexus composed demeanor. But if you want to have fun, the fun is there, and I'm happy to report that. The steering is wonderfully weighted, and there's good feeling there. The brakes haul you down effortlessly. The only real drawback to the overall driving experience, if you're pushing it, is the 8-speed. It's not as good as a ZF, it's not as good as a dual clutch, but it's smooth and comfortable. Could it be quicker? Could it be snappier? Sure. It's nice that it has paddles. You can also shift it down here on the gear lever itself. But again, you're not winning races and you do not have the best gearbox in class. What you do have is a fine driving machine on a daily basis. But maybe that's going to upset some folks, especially with the $57,000 plus starting price and the as-tested price, which is north of $62,000. Maybe some folks out there were hoping for an M3 fighter, but that's not what this is. Instead, it's the last gasp of an entertaining V8 in the Lexus lineup. And I think that's worth celebrating. Don't you?